All right, welcome back here in the range. Right now we're going to talk about something that's going on. Recently happened to a NBA superstar, Brandon Roy. He has recently received a torn meniscus, and they're saying he's going to be injured for about 4 to 6 weeks. He has to have surgery, and it's just now the question is, should he play in the playoffs or should he not? That's pretty much all.
I mean, a meniscus. That's a serious injury.
It
I
is.
have a cousin that did that in high school, and he was completely knocked out his senior year. They didn't let him play at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, anything with the knee, I think, is pretty serious. Because I mean, you don't want him to play this one playoff season and then be hurting for the rest of his life. That's how I would think about it if I were him. It could end his career early.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's worth it.
Well, I mean, a meniscus, man, if he gets hurt that bad off a meniscus, it's not as serious as all the other knee injuries, but, I mean, you can still play on a torn meniscus. I mean, you're just going to have to rest up, ice it down pretty much. But if he were to play, I'm pretty sure he'd still be getting his 20.7 assist kind of numbers anyway. So the Blazers, they need him in the playoffs, especially since they don't have to play the Lakers in the first round. So they might
Possibly.
actually no, because the Thunder have clinched that eighth spot with their loss last night to the Blazers. So the Blazers, they pretty much will be facing.
They're right now.
The 2 seed.
They're in the 6th seed right now at this moment.
Yeah, the Blazers are in the 6th.
And they'd be probably facing the Denver Nuggets, or it could be the Phoenix Suns. It could be one of those two teams.
Yep.
So it's not going to be an easy road because they depend so much on Brandon Roy to produce for them. They can't. I don't think they can win a playoff series without Brandon Roy.
Well, I mean, they have a lot of talent on that team. It's still a young team. I mean, so they have Webster. Webster can go for 20 points if he has a good night. I mean, Andre Miller, he's proven that he can score.
Trash.
You got Marcus Camby. You have Marcus Camby. You have Marcus Aldridge.
Somewhat trash.
And then that team is pretty much.
Well,
they can win without. They can win. They're gonna win a couple of games, but I don't think they can win without Brandon Roy. They're gonna have to need him sometime.
Well, let's think about it this way. Nobody expected the Portland Trailblazers to be after losing their 2 centers.
Right.
And they find a way to kind of, get in the mix and still be in that top 8 teams in the West. Who's to say they can't make up for this? I mean, I don't know who's going to step up for them. I mean, Joel Presbilla and, Greg Oden were the center points for that team. But at the same time, they were hoping they would be healthy the whole season to stop those big men from around the Western Conference. But now they're up there. Marcus Camby plays the 5 a little bit. I don't like him as the center, but I guess when you have to, you have to.
Yeah.
That's like I don't like Chuck Hayes playing center for the Rockets. So quit laughing. But when you think about it, Brandon Roy is a center point for that team, and I think he really shouldn't play this one. It is what Rachel said. Why go ahead? Why mess up your knee more? I'd rather Brandon Roy stick around another 10, 12 years rather than in the next 5 years have to retire quickly because of knee problem.
But the doctor said that it can't get any worse. So it can't get any worse than that torn meniscus. So.
Well, Brandon Roy, early in his career, he already messed up his left knee.
Yeah.
Now this is his right knee. So you just gotta be careful. Whenever you have an injury, for some reason, if you try to play with the injury, somehow another injury comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, let's remember, Tracy McGrady is one of them.
Yeah.
Tracy McGrady's hurt both his knees before. Now you see
he already has a sore back as it is anyway.
And a sore shoulder. Think about all he's tried to play through that he's hurt other things in.
So
Crazy.
You just gotta be careful. I don't know who your
And
is, but you just gotta be careful when you're playing. I think he should just call it quits. Because even if it can't get any worse than what it is, doesn't mean it's gonna get any better playing on it.
Yeah.
So just let it be, because just because he tore his meniscus, you never know. Anything else in the knee can just come right after it. So that can end his career.
And if they were to play the Denver Nuggets, Who's to say that they were even going to win 2 or 3 games in that
Yeah.
series? So if you're not guaranteed to win that series, why go ahead and put yourself at risk?
Yeah.
Because I mean, JV says, yeah, you can play on it now. It can't get any worse. It can't get worse right now, okay? But it can get worse in the future.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to be, battle it throughout the first round of the playoffs, get surgery, and realize when you come back in 2010, 2011, that suddenly, hey, my knee is still hurting me. And in 2 or 3 years, you have to shut that down for the rest of your career. You're done. Do you really want that on your conscience, knowing that, you could have just sat out 6 games, 5 or 6 games in the playoffs for a big shot next year? This year, we already given up. Portland's not going to do anything this year. So why go ahead and risk your career? It's time to start thinking long term now.
Definitely, if you look at, if you, like JB, if you said earlier, he has only have probably a limited amount of minutes, and it's not going to work very well for him. He should just call it quits, and I think that's what I think. So, good talk.
Now, before I get to this, I'm going to give you a disclaimer. I don't know too much about golf. End of disclaimer. Now, in the news, you see after Phil won his green jacket, 3rd one to be exact, now you're starting to see stories about Tiger. It's Tiger's, him and his personal life. They're trying to throw his personal life in on his golf tournament play. And then they're trying to making him the villain. And then you see Phil, they're bringing him on as the good guy. Of course, with his wife and her battle and all of this. And so this is what I feel. This might not be just a story, somewhat of a rant. But whether or not Phil or Tiger has stuff going on in their personal life, the news, the media, all you people, sports writers and all that, should leave their personal life out of what they do on the green. Plain and simple. What they do in their personal life has nothing to do with their career choice. If they play golf, they play golf. Leave their personal life out of it. Don't bring their personal life into how they play golf. It has nothing to do with it. Just like Tiger said, when Tiger gets on the green, it's about him and it's about golf. It's about nothing else. Phil, I'm pretty sure it's the same way. Any PGA star or LPGA star, when they're on the green, it's about golf and golf only. Don't bring their personal life into their career. Doesn't make sense. Let it go.
Yeah, I'm unlike Chris. I'm an avid golf watcher. I love watching golf. I like playing it myself. But at the same time, I understand where you're going from on this. First of all, for the past 10 years, it's always been about Tiger versus Phil. They've always made Tiger look like the bad guy. No matter what happens, they make Tiger look like the bad guy, whether it's him almost catching Jack Nicklaus, whatever it's like, Jack Nicklaus is it. But,
No,
Nicholas.
Bad man.
Nicholas.
yeah, Nicklaus, that's what I said. So, but you say that kind of, they've always been trying to play on that kind of race to get to Jack Nicklaus. I just don't get the fact that, they try to pull personal lives in this. And I know, wife and mom having cancer is better than Tiger Woods and his cheating scandal and everything. I know it's better to kind of feed off that. But no matter where you go, it's always going to be about Tiger versus Phil. Like today, Tiger puts in his entry for the U.S. Open.
Yes, he did.
And they're already talking about, who would win it. Who would win, Tiger or Phil? The U.S. Open is until June. There's no reason why we should be talking about this right now.
Right.
Why go ahead and put, we got 2 months away till we have the Tiger versus Phil matchup. And who's to say they'll even play against each other, really?
Yeah, I don't think they actually will play each other, but if you look at, I want to talk about the Masters, and look at Tiger and Phil's, rounds that they played, the commentators that were calling the game on CBS were saying about every other hole, saying, with all the stuff that Tiger's been going through, and how he would just miss a putt or something, and it would just be a bad sign. And then they would go to Phil and be like, all the stuff that he's going through, and he would make a birdie. And it's just wrong to make it look that way and put that image on both Tiger and Phil. Just like Chris said, it's just a big rant, and it's just terrible to actually consider personal issues in sports in the same topic.
And we'll be right back with Shot and Thumbs Down. You're on the range. Stay tuned.